If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. This is the home of news. Please click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. And after watching the video, you are free to leave your comment constructively and tell me what you think about the video and the channel. As we hop into today's exciting video, let's watch this video together and come to the comment section to talk about it. Let's watch.
And 65. That Tinubu Bolo Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
Of the Institute for Governance and Economic Transformation, a former Nigerian presidential candidate. He joins me now from Washington. Kingsley, really great to have you and share important discussion. I'm sure you heard there the report from Alari Mado. Let me get first your reaction to what we heard in the last, 6-7 minutes or so from former President Obasanjo, who says the election process has been corrupted. Your reaction?
Well, thank you for having me. It's disappointing that there have been significant operational failures by INEC, the electoral umpire. I must praise the young people of Nigeria, the youth of Nigeria, who have so much looked forward to this election to be able to express themselves, perhaps for the first time, and feel that they have elected their president in a free and fair election. What we see in Nigeria every 4 years, unfortunately, is that INEC claims to be ready for elections, but at the end of the day, you have very serious glitches that begin to undermine confidence. I am aware that the European Union, the American observers, and various other international observers have expressed some reservation about the transparency of the process, and I think that's very unfortunate. And now we have former President Olusegun Obasanjo chiming in, and that's quite a weighty voice indeed.
Yeah, and it's not just, people, it's not just the glitches, I should say. It's actually electoral officials not showing up, violence too. Obasanjo also said in the last 7 minutes or so, the Electoral Commission should repeat polls in locations where there was violence, where officials failed to show. What do you think, Kingsley?
I think that's a wise suggestion, and INEC might be or would be wise to very seriously consider that in order to shore up confidence in its conduct of the elections. If, as it claims, these things were simply just failures that were operational and nothing more, then they should be able to repeat some of the elections, because if a large swathe or if there are problems in many parts of the country, that could undermine the legitimacy or the confidence that people place in whatever are the ultimate results that are announced.
Obasanjo said that the current President Buhari, Muhammad Buhari, should intervene. Do you think he ought to intervene?
Well, the Independent National Electoral Commission is officially supposed to be independent. Many people, of course, do not believe so. Do not believe that. And in a country where the institutions are weak, not strong, many people do believe that a sitting president certainly can, for purposes of national security, for example, suggest to INEC that they may take this kind of line of action.
I mean, we have so many questions. The most important one, I think, is why did the Electoral Commission get this so wrong? Voted blighted not just by delays, but violence, those not showing up. I mean, how much was incompetence? How much was voter suppression here?
It's a large mix of both, to be very, very honest. First of all, elections in Nigeria are run in the usual political way. The elections are a huge logistical operation. Nigeria should take a professional project management and risk management approach to running elections where, in this case, 87 million people collected voters' registration cards. But they never do that. So we see a huge failure of institutions in Nigeria, and it's always at the last minute. There will be huge operational failures, and then you'll just be having excuses. And of course, there was voter suppression. Now, we know that, one of the major surprises in this operation, in this election, was the performance of the third force, which is the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and we saw the upset they recorded in Lagos. But we also know that a lot of voter suppression went down in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State, and reports also we have it in Imo State. So these are very significant shortcomings, and they should not be happening. The security forces came in. A lot of army people were moved into Lagos, but they were not properly positioned to be able to stop or prevent these voter suppression exercises.
Kingsley Bolo, really appreciate you taking time to speak to us. Thanks very much, Kingsley.
Thank you for having me.
The mission noted that, despite the much-needed reforms from the Electoral Act of 2022, the elections still fell well short of Nigerians' legitimate and reasonable expectations. Voters' trust in the process has been shaken by INEC's lack of transparency. There were numerous missed opportunities to explain the cause and extent of Election Day challenges. The combined effect of these problems disenfranchised Nigerian voters in many parts of the country, although the scope and scale are currently unknown.
And while elections are a vital part of the process, it's the work that will happen next that truly determines the future success of this democracy. Nigeria holds the distinction of having one of the world's youngest populations. It has the largest democracy on the continent and one of the most populous democracies in the world. And so the credibility of the electoral process has a wide-ranging impact, not simply for the continent of Africa, but it has global meaning.
End of the election process. So we're not in a position, we don't want to interfere in any way in the political process. Our methodology is very clear in this regard. We make our observations, we answer questions in these settings, and we stand over the findings that we have were able to put in the public domain in this fashion. But we won't interfere in the process. It's a matter entirely for the Nigerian authorities to determine the way forward. If there are challenges that we identify, it is down to the Nigerian authorities to make their decision about how they wish to proceed with those matters. I want to thank you for your cooperation, for other civil society organisations that, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, provided us with a very warm welcome and with clear information which helped us to form the assessment that we're sharing with you today. Noted that expectations as the way the technology would transform the transparency of the election, those expectations were not met in a significant number of cases. The operation of the BVAS machines was not, it was significantly impaired in certain areas. We noted the operation of IREV during the course of the evening wasn't what was expected. We noted that in some instances the offline uploading of results onto BVAS machines was not done systematically. So there were other issues that we noted, and but we don't do them on a polling unit per polling unit basis. We simply did it across all of the observations that we obtained across the entire country. And we are very conscious that the electoral